Do you know if your home insurance policies covers jewelry or watches? Home insurance customers often ask us why our online quoting system asks them to choose a limit of coverage for jewelry, because they often think other insurance policies include coverage for jewelry automatically. So in today's video, we'll be covering how most insurance policies work when it comes to jewelry and watches coverage, how Square One is different, how you can choose the right limits, and more. So like I mentioned, we get a lot of questions around how jewelry and insurances work, as many people assume there's automatic coverage. But I'll warn you, this is a really dangerous assumption, because in reality, most policies actually restrict the amount paid if you make a claim for lost or damaged jewelry or watches. So let me go into this in a bit more detail so you have a better understanding. Most home insurance policies will show a limit of coverage for your personal property, or for contents coverage on a condo or tenant insurance policy. This section of the policy covers what's known as personal effects, which often includes items like jewelry and watches. However, I highly recommend reading the actual policy wordings or reviewing them with a licensed insurance agent so you know the full extent of the coverage. With most home insurance providers, coverage for jewelry will be capped at a maximum of $6,000 or less per claim, which can be a significant problem if you have a lot of valuable pieces that you've collected over the years. And if you don't even own any fancy jewelry or watches, you'll still have to pay a premium that includes coverage for this type of property, even though you'll never make a claim for it. Well, here at Square One, we've taken a different approach to jewelry insurance coverage. Our comprehensive home, condo, and tenant policies do not automatically include coverage for jewelry. We took this approach because customers who don't need or want to insure these items can choose not to, reducing the amount of policy premiums you'll pay. And for customers who do wish to insure jewelry, you can add on the exact amount of coverage you need so you're not paying for any unnecessary premiums. So if you're curious what Square One's policies look like, you can use the link in the description to download a sample home insurance policy to see for yourself. Or if you have any questions about insurance jewelry coverage, leave a comment below. We'd be happy to get to it. Now that you know how the basic insurance coverage works for jewelry, here are some common questions we get around jewelry insurance coverage. In an event like that, your first step will be to file a claim, and what happens after will depend on the type of coverage you purchased and what you choose to do. Will you replace the items or accept a cash payment instead? Today, most home insurance policies provide coverage on a replacement cost basis, which is intended to replace lost or damaged property with items of like kind and quality. For example, if your ring is stolen, your policy's default approach will be to help you replace it with a new ring of like kind and quality, up to the limit of insurance that you purchased. If you decide not to replace a covered item of jewelry, payment will usually be made on an actual cash value basis. This means depreciation will be applied, so the payment you receive might be less than if you had actually replaced the ring with a new item of like kind and quality. Many customers have difficulty deciding on how much coverage will be enough to replace all their jewelry in the event of a significant loss. And this process becomes especially difficult when you've received jewelry as a gift, as you've probably asked yourself, how can you choose a limit of coverage when you didn't buy the item? Well, our first and best recommendation is that you obtain an appraisal for your jewelry items. Many jewelers and even retailers offer appraisal services for a moderate fee. They'll carefully examine your jewelry and provide you with a detailed report and magnifying photos, as well as an approximate current replacement cost estimate. There are a couple advantages to getting an appraisal. First, the estimate, plus taxes, tells you how much you should purchase in order to be confident that you have enough coverage to replace the item in the event of a loss. And because costs of precious metals and stones continue to fluctuate in the global markets, we recommend that you revisit these appraisals at least every few years. If that sounds expensive, you can always ask the original appraiser to provide you with an opinion as to whether or not the specific item would have changed substantially in value. Another advantage of having an appraisal done is that it will help you out if you ever need to make a claim for lost or damaged jewelry items. Instead of trying to work backward and hunting for old photos and scouring your memories in order to attempt to describe the item, you and your adjuster can use this appraisal as an exact description of the item involved. This will ultimately accelerate the process of sourcing and designing a replacement item that matches your original piece of jewelry. Remember that most home insurance policies are designed to provide replacement cost coverage, and the most insurance providers will pay is the limit of coverage that you purchased. Your policy probably won't pay more than the limit of coverage that you purchased. And like all good sales, they don't last forever. So if the limit of coverage that you choose is based upon a discounted price, and that discount is no longer available when a claim occurs, you will be paying out of your own pocket to make up the difference. So that is why we recommend insuring your jewelry you bought for a discount for its replacement value, which is what it would cost to buy brand new plus taxes, rather than the discounted value. So in short, yes, insurance is available for jewelry and watches. The coverage will depend on the insurance provider you have and the details I've outlined in the policy, so I highly recommend you check that with them. And if you're looking for a home insurance quote where you can customize the amount of jewelry coverage you have, you can visit squareoneinsurance.com for an online quote. So thanks for watching, everyone, and if you want to check out more home and insurance videos, you can check them out here.